Hello, this is the Black and White Soul, and we are going to talk about Survivor Series. I wasn't overly excited going in since they gave us the big 6-on-6 match I was hoping would be on the show on Raw for free, and then the fact they gave us a Big E title win, and then they also gave us Big Show in the main event, which I don't want to see. I don't know anybody that wants to see Big Show in the main event, apart from maybe the Big Show. And Triple H, or Vince, because he's a big man. Right, but we kicked off Survivor Series with Triple H and Stephanie coming out and being face. I don't like this. It doesn't make any sense. They're the biggest heels in the company. Really, you're going to be here right now? The biggest heels in the company, and they're coming out and geeing up the crowd. That's why you have faces. They come out. You get your big star to just come out, cut a quick promo. You get CM Punk to pop out, get the crowd riled up, and also sort of advertise their match. That's how wrestling works. But beside that, it's fine, just got it out of the way. And then we had the 5-on-5 elimination match. The Usos, Rey Mysterio, Cody and Goldust versus The Shield and the Real Americans. Just to first off, Real Americans, phenomenal tag team, especially for just two guys that were chucked together at the last minute. But they really work well as a tag team. And there is not a person alive that does not love Cesaro's big swing. And you got to see it twice on both Usos. And speaking of the Usos, they're a phenomenal tag team. They're really coming up. I hope they do get a title run in sort of the next couple of months. Of course, it's got to be heels that beat Cody and Goldust, but that can be done for a rift through them, so there's other storylines that can go there. But the Usos, I do believe, will make good tag team champions. The crowd are with them, because when they say, ooh, you say, so, ooh, so's, and the crowd are loud, they're screaming. We're starting to get to that point again, when there's just more than the champions are over, where we're getting people lower in the card that have followings. This is what we need, WWE. Everyone should be over, regardless if they're in a title storyline or not. Rey Mysterio, kids love him. He's going to be injured in a week or so, so it's good to see him briefly before he then breaks his legs again and is gone for another year. But he adds to revenue. And Goldust and Cody are just phenomenal at the moment. Goldust is looking better than he has ever. His in-ring is just phenomenal. This is like probably from him going around the indie circuit and you just get so much more into the crowd. His crowd work. He knows when to stop. He knows when to do this. It's just something you learn more in the indies than you do on TV. Anyway, onto the match itself. I did not in a million years think Ambrose would go first, and so quickly and easily. But this was a really good thing for both Reigns and Seth. They both got to have a show without Ambrose sort of overshadowing them. And then the fact that Seth got to do an elimination, which is good because he's kind of dwindling in the Shield. He's the one that nobody really thinks about. He hasn't even got like a set finisher. I was surprised to see him use like a face stomp to pin one of the Usos. Brutal move. If he can use it more often, good. Though I do kind of like his high knee from the top rope, but why not just give him his finisher he had in NXT when he was the NXT champion? They must have had some faith in him, and that move was cool. Besides that, just this was a showcase of Roman Reigns, and this was like, can we put you in a big match, and will you deliver? And yes! The crowd, even though he's heel, were sort of behind him, because even when he beat Rey Mysterio, there weren't really boos, it was cheers. And then they did the clever thing of having Reigns be respectful. He didn't mock Rey Mysterio for beating him. He was like, this close. This close. And that's like, sort of a challenge. It's not really like, ha, I beat you, I'm heel and evil. It is, I respect the fact that you came close, but this time, buddy, I won. So I'm expecting more facey things to go. I hope they do a long build on this. Like, they don't just suddenly break up the Shield on Raw when I watch it in a couple of minutes. But beside that, I think it was a fantastic match. Much better than I expected. All the guys in it did spectacularly well. following this was a segment by Triple H and Stephanie. I kind of like / don't like what they're doing with Orton. I think he's coming across a bit too cowardly, especially if you consider the fact he beat the Big Show earlier in the year. He suddenly pinned him. He punted him in the face. It was not exactly a hard-fought match. He beat him easily. But now, all of a sudden, because Big Show's a good guy, Randy Orton is scared and terrified. Which I think they played up too much. I like the fact that it makes him look like he's losing his mind. Because Randy Orton, with how vicious he has been, if he's unstable as well, that's going to add to him being vicious. But not if he's a complete coward. So they've got to get the balance right, but if they play this off right, it can work quite well. Yeah, the next match, Axel versus Big E. Okay match. Axel, I do worry about his future. The only thing going for him is he's Mr. Perfect's son, and he's not showing he's as good as Mr. Perfect. He kind of had the bad situation where they thrust him in the main event picture just too fast. They should let him build up from the lower ranks, so I hope he finds his footing after this. But Big E, I love him. He's a big man, he's got personality, and he can move in the ring. He's not a Ryback. He's actually sort of talented, athletic, and Jesus Christ, he has the biggest boobs I have ever seen. But no, good solid match. Of course he was going to defend, but what do you expect? It was his first title defence. I hope he has sort of a good run with the belt. We'll see what he can do. Give him a good opponent to go against next, but we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, can't read my own writing about what the next thing was, so we're going to skip over that. The panel. I really like these panels they're doing on the pay-per-views for this year. And especially the fact they got Bret Hart, Booker T, and Mick Foley. It just shows there's, like, some importance to the matches. And then you get Ryback come out, and, as I said earlier, I don't like Ryback. He's big and strong, and that's it. But then we've got other people like Big E, John Cena, Mark Henry, and it does make him kind of pointless. Speaking of Mark Henry, he returned again. I don't care. He's alright. I just don't see what they're going to do with him, especially now he's got the whole Austin haircut. Maybe he's just going to join up with the Big Show again and they'll both be Austin together. But yeah, don't care. And for some reason, Mark Henry did the junkyard dog move, where he's on all fours and just, yeah, headbutt. Oh well, it was a thing, it happened. I just don't care about these particular wrestlers, I'm afraid. Okay. Del Rio versus Cena. I will go on record and say I like John Cena. Whoa, 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 whoa. Before you boo me, I used to be in your camp. I thought he was silver-spooned, he was given the belt too quickly. But he's been at the top now for like 10 years. And that's not just because the company's pushed him, it is because he is a solid performer. Because you think of how many main event matches he's been in, how many matches on Raw, SmackDown, all the pay-per-views. He's not the best performer, but by God, he is one of the most consistently solid performers. It's very rare you get a bad match out of him. You might get one that's a bit boring, but he's never really a bad match, and it's not that often he messes up. He is a solid performer. And when it came down to Rock versus Cena, I always wanted Cena to win, because he deserved it. He has done a lot for the company, and is one of the main reasons that it's still around today, so he needs to be thanked. And I was glad to hear, in his hometown, he got cheers. Of course, there were boos, but he did get more cheers than boos for once. And that's something he deserves. He is a good, solid performer. Match, okay, worked on the arm, blah, 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 blah. nice quick thing to finish with quick FU. Sorry, not FU anymore, is it? It's the whole attitude adjuster PG. Again, Del Rio is someone I don't really like. I preferred him as a face because his style was a bit faster, but as a heel he just seems so slow and limited with his moves. I just don't get on with him. It was what it was. Cena win, which is what it should be. Yay! I got a little bit confused because they did an ad for Money in the Bank, which was just, let's fit in as many people as we can, which was fine. It sort of does its little thing. Though it did start getting me confused, and I thought the next pay-per-view was Money in the Bank, but that's just between me and my friends. So no need to boo it, but okay. Blah. Tongue speaking, need to get used to this. Good creepy build-up video for Punk and Daniel versus the Wyatts. Though I did start thinking, if you get the Ginger Wyatt, turn his head around, he looks a lot like Sheamus. You just get that beard, just, and he's basically Sheamus. So I don't think Sheamus actually injured. What they did was just swung his hair down, and they turned him into a Wyatt. I'll be honest though, with the actual match itself, it was a good solid match, but just a bit disappointing. There was nothing uberly special about it. Good solid match, but from when Daniel Bryan was in title matches, it's just, nah. You can only work with, they're a solid tag team, but they're nothing special. But it's just the whole aura around them that works. Yeah. And that takes us to the main event, which is just Randy Orton running away from the Big Show, the guy he beat up quite a few times this year already. Again, this is the main reason I felt justified in not paying for the pay-per-view, because it's the Big Show in a main event, and he's just not been interesting in ages. The last interesting match he had was last year against Sheamus, and that's because Sheamus was shockingly strong enough to pick him up. But then they did that a couple of times in a row, and that got boring. But the only interesting thing, saving grace for the end, was John Cena coming out, which to me looks like they are going to unify the title, which I have mixed feelings about, because it's quite good having the two titles, but the World Championship particularly has become the Intercontinental title. So if that drops out the picture, then you can have a stronger Intercontinental title, stronger US title, which is absolutely pointless at the moment, and then you've got your main event scene. But I do worry, because you have a lot of main event potential people. If you take away the other world title, that'll leave you with, of course, the higher up guys will get all the shots, and the Zigglers and the Sandows are not going to see anything. But it's all speculation until I see Raw and see how they follow it up. But overall, my opinion of the Survivor Series was it was a solid show. All the matches were decent. Axel versus Big E was rather sort of just bland. But all in all, solid performances. Good skits, apart from the weird opening where Triple H is a face. Okay, leave opinions if this whole Google Plus hasn't chased you away from YouTube at all. Let me know how I'm doing, what can be improved, as I'm getting used to this. And let's see how this actually uploads, because I've tried using the YouTube uploader. So we're going to see if this has worked, or if I've just wasted 20 minutes of my life. Catch you next time, TTFN.